Stream starting now.
That may be who Los need to start off with is it Danny Myers or something.
Yeah, I mean, he might have to start off with a Danny Myers might have to start off with a King Los to try to prove himself again. I don't know if anybody wants to battle him again.
The whole thing, like, and then Los might need that Danny Myers to prove that he's worthy of being in this arena again.
Right, right. But I hate to see Danny Myers lose to another non-battle, to another upcoming. At some point, you might just have to just retire gracefully, man. Like you forgot every verse. You didn't forget the second verse, a bit of the first. You forgot every verse. No, that's unacceptable, man.
Man.
It's unacceptable.
You might need to bring that disaster back out or something.
Nah, you need to just relax. I mean, I don't know, man. Like
this guy might have to bring that disaster back out or something.
That might be the best thing. You might have to hit that Los up. Give Los a chance. And if you can beat him, then you belong. If he beats you, then we'll let him take your place. If he beats you, we'll let him take your place because, I'm not gonna just allow
who's been quiet
people
lately?
who don't know
I wonder why we
their
don't
own
hear
verse.
from King of the Dot anymore. And
What's up, people? I know we online right now. Sorry, go ahead. What you say? The King of the Dot? What?
Yeah, I said I wonder how come we don't hear too much from King of the Dot anymore. And the dudes, remember what was the guy's name? Sharon and them dudes from overseas. The dude from the UK.
Yeah,
and all of that.
But I think, I think there was like I don't really know. I don't want to say for sure while I'm online and people knowing, but maybe you guys can tell us. But I think there was a conglomerate deal. Like there was two different battle leagues that decided to come together. I think King of the Dot was one of them. Either they fell off or got bought out or whatever. But I haven't seen that much from them. And the last thing I heard or remember was these people were trying to come up with new leagues, new power bases, and they got in with somebody else. But I'm gonna check that out during the show just to make sure.
I'd have to check on that myself.
Yeah.
But I was a fan. I was a fan of that too.
Hold on.
I can't remember your boy's name. Remember the guy that battled Arsenal.
Damn, I don't even know. Yeah, you mean Shoddy Horror?
Shoddy Horror. Oh man.
I don't even hear nothing about him anymore. He just did his thing. It was crazy, and then that was it.
He was all right.
Yeah, this is old now, man. King of the Dot, man. It's KOTD. I don't see really nothing new about him.
There hasn't been nothing coming out over there, right?
Let me see. Live every Sunday. Last thing I see, they got something coming out. They got, I don't know who. They got some different people. I think is the problem. Impose versus Dallas Cash. Lush one.
Maybe they're in the process like URL, similar to URL, where they're trying to brand new talent and bring up new profiles.
Yeah.
New artists.
There's a lot of people I have never heard of, but I'm sure
they'll be trying to rebrand themselves. But with different battle leagues, they feature a lot of them feature, their favorite or different artists. Like I noticed with King of the Dot is where you would see the Pat Stays, the even Disaster, Head Ice. You would see a lot of those over there in King of the Dot.
Yeah.
Whereas RBE, you would usually see that Rosenberg Raw, the show offs, it's just different battle leagues they feature for whatever reason. A lot of that's, like you said, contractual.
Yeah.
It's contractual. So
I think what happens is, man, the money that RBE has obviously been making from sponsorships and other things has put them where that they can take a lot of the talent that maybe is hard for a KLTD to get anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's the deal. Like, you got to get in where you fit in around here.
That makes a lot of sense. And pay them the money that they're asking for.
Right. But not to not to stop awesome conversation, but
come on to the bar.
Welcome, people. Woo! It's Late Night Hip Hop Live, and you just heard a conversation, I'm sure. But my name is Bruce Lively.
And I'm D-Boy Slim.
Music was too loud. Please tell them that again. I'm Bruce Lively.
And I'm D-Boy Slim.
Yeah. Listen, man. I know you guys saw. That's why you clicked on it. You saw what the caption said. We will do a little preview, maybe, but we got a few things going on. Matter of fact, D-Boy, give us the agenda, man. What's on the agenda for the day, man? What's on the agenda for the day?
Got a whole lot on deck, man. Today, we actually gonna go over your verses, man. You know, if y'all been keeping, unless you've been under a rock during the last year and a half, 2 years, Swiss and Timberland doing the versus battles. And it's kind of been less of battles and more of a celebration of catalog, but nonetheless, it's been battles, and they've been good ones. And me and Bruce are gonna point out which ones we thought were the best. And also, you know, we do have previews of the battles coming up, and the last RBE card and who you think won and whatnot, and things like that. So yeah, we got a full plate today.
All right, man. I like that. Let's talk about it. We'll mention the battles afterwards then, because I know that we still need to do our double takes and our retakes. We want to make sure that we bring in something others don't bring to it. So we're gonna do some analyzing. But at the end, we're gonna talk about Calicoe, Hittman. It was crazy. King Los, I was waiting on that. We'll talk about that. But let's get into the verses, man. I like what you said. It's been a celebration. How did it start again? Who was that Swiss Beats that started this thing?
It started off with the Swiss and Timberland, and I think that was a little friendly battle between those two. If just like we sit here and do our debate show, and which they kind of stole our idea because that was us that was debating who was the best producers, who were the best rappers from East to West Coast, who did what, and debating about it. We actually created a whole platform around it. But
exactly.
Swiss and Timberland, because it was ingenious in getting those artists in the same room.
Okay,
and that's the difference.
So
I want anytime you're able to get, the Isley brothers, who are some of the other big name artists that's been on there?
Well, anytime we're ready to get Jeezy and Gucci together on the same stage and smash years-long beef, or at least attempt to give the optics of smashing years-long actual beef.
Beanie Man.
The good look for the culture. That's crazy. Yeah, Beanie Man. Now,
and it's been,
if we were going to talk Beanie Man and Bounty Killer, no, Busha Banton and Bounty Killer.
Right. So it's been widespread with the diversity, and there's been some killers. There's been some epic battles. I really enjoyed the DMX and Snoop Dogg joint.
Yes. So wait a minute. Before we can get it, we're going way ahead of ourselves. This is the debate. What was the best one, man? We're gonna do the honorable mentions because I want to talk about that too. But what's the debate?
First of all, let me just say this: there's been 17.
What's the best? Okay, 17.
17 verses. No, I didn't sit there and watch all 17 of them, but I watched a whole lot of them. And in my book, for my money, I'm gonna have to go with the one you actually just mentioned, and that's Jeezy and Gucci.
You know what? I wasn't expecting you to do that, but I had it on my short list.
And for reasons that span past what I just mentioned as far as celebration of catalog.
Ah, man, wait a minute, man. For that, though, we got to get that music back. People, this is hip-hop. We celebrate it. That's a perfect choice. And I wouldn't expect you to give that choice, D-Boy. Perfect. I love that. Go ahead.
Well, my name is D-Boy Slim.
Hey.
So far, me to pick the battle of the D boys for the best battle. But
Got you.
nah. All jokes aside, and all kidding aside, I honestly thought for the culture that was the best versus battle. I mean, that was must see TV. I mean, let's just be honest. Even if you wasn't a Jeezy and Gucci fan, just because of the beef that you heard and what was going on or whatever, it was must see TV. It was the same. It was the first time that both of them were in the same room in probably 20 years. I'm sure everybody knows, the beef surrounding them or whatever have you.
Not
As far as
everybody knows. You can talk a little
as
bit about
far
it.
as Gucci, actually killing supposedly one of Jeezy's friends or somebody that Jeezy sent at him,
Allegedly, people.
allegedly. And so this was the first time you seen both of them in the same room in probably 20 years. And so again, that was must see TV. For that reason, I felt that it was the best because I never seen any battle for that matter where the tension was that high, where you felt like, well, they could do a diss song and it just goes left. Like chairs
Easily.
might start flying,
And it's not one of those times where, oh, world star. Like, this is one of those times where you're hoping that really doesn't happen. Like, it could get very real very quick.
It could get ugly. And shouts to both Jeezy and Gucci. It didn't, and they planned it that way. And I think, like I said, they put on for the culture, not only for Atlanta, but for the whole culture. In a day where, Nipsey Hussle and Mo Threes and Chinks and so many others that's getting murdered and killed, it showed that you could have real street beef and still, and Jeezy and Gucci are not the best of friends to this day, but it showed that they can coexist. It showed that they can be cordial. They even rocked the song together that they once created back in the day, which got the whole beef started with the So Icy joint. And it showed that, you can be men, you can be grown and mature and move on and move past stuff like that, even after blood was shed. So, like I said, I think for that reason alone, it took on a deeper meaning than just celebration of catalog. It should have shown the young viewers and the young hip hop fans that sure, yeah, we talk about guns and shoot them up on tracks all the time. It's okay to come together as men, shake hands, whatever. Let it go. It's not worth it. Let it go. Get your money, enjoy your family, live life. And that's, to me, that was the message that I got out of watching that versus. Aside from the fact that, both of them have platinum hits, platinum music or whatever, and good music. But yeah, I just thought that one was the one I had never seen that before. We never seen that much tension, that much beef, that much animosity between two artists, and they still come together and rock out, do what they got to do, get disrespectful, but come back respectfully. So, I think my money was the best verses that I seen.
And you know what? For what it meant to the culture, if that's what you're going by, you probably couldn't find a better one than that for that reason. But for pure entertainment value, Swizz Beatz versus Timbaland on stage, all white, actual fans yelling and screaming, the sweat pouring, the lights going for what this is. I mean, when Buju Banton and Bounty Killer did it, they almost had that same energy, but there wasn't a crowd there for pure entertainment value. That's it, man. I went and watched a few again. I went as far as to watch Erykah Badu and Jill Scott. Erykah Badu versus Jill Scott. And that was fire. And I'm looking at just realizing the way everybody approached it was different. How Erykah had those things behind her. But as far as approach, as far as pure entertainment value, we not only got producers that have accumulated probably 50 to 60% of all the hits of the past 40 years, 30 years.
At least a decade and a half.
I mean, like Swiss Beats. We're talking about DMX.
You're right. The Swiss and Timberland, they've been out since we was in high school.
Yeah, so we're almost at 30 years. If we're serious, like, or close to it. And what they pulled out.
You're right, about 2 to 2.5 decades at least.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was just there. It was unexpected to see a show where people aren't necessarily rapping. Of course, Timberland had to try to rap. I don't know why he loves putting his music like that. But
Swiss can almost rap too.
Yeah, they both almost rap. They both had little. But for real though, for just entertainment value. Now, of course, that means something to the culture because, like I said, these two people have owned a section of hip hop for almost 30 years, and for at least 2 decades, and that in itself was important. That's what we've all been celebrating. But just the entertainment value, like I actually watched from beginning to end, didn't have to, think about it or press pause and come back.
Give me a couple joints they played that you enjoyed.
All right, so first of all, when you say Swiss, almost everything he did with the locks that he pulled out.
Rough Riders.
Everything.
When you take Swiss, you're talking Rough Riders.
Swiss, listen, everything that pulled out, it kind of made Timberland like, dang, because for some reason Timbo came with the R&B like for half the thing.
And that was Timbo's thing. And, I wasn't mad at Timbo.
I wasn't mad at it either.
That was Timbo's thing.
But it's something about those Swiss and Locks thing, man.
And that just, that's funny that you broke it down like that because that goes into preference. And I wasn't mad at Timbo. It was like every time Swiss went right, Timbo went all the way left. Like,
yeah.
Oh, you want to do your hardcore? I'm going to do this Aaliyah joint real quick.
Right.
Oh, you want to do the Locks and the Rough Riders?
Yeah.
I'm going to just do this Missy Elliott joint that I did.
Oh, and so...
I respect them. And they're both classic. They're both classic.
And the next one, of course, you always, Timbo's actually my guy because of those innovative beats that just happen to usually go to R&B. The joint with Aaliyah still gets me every time. What was it?
Yeah.
At first you don't succeed, pick yourself up and try it. People wouldn't think that I'm a fan of that, but that beat is so innovative. It's so crazy. And of course it was a platinum hit, so like me as a producer,
I could vouch for you there. Someone that's known you for a few years. You're not just jumping on the bandwagon. You've been a day one Timbo fan.
Man, that's my dude. Nobody had the fast hi-hats. I don't think people remember what that is. Like, we now just call it trap music. Before that was called Timberland style. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what he did. Babies in the background. So, yeah.
I think both of them. You're right too. That's a classic matchup because both of them had an unorthodox style.
Which is what made it crazy. Like, it's not like putting Primo versus Swiss, right? It's
right.
Two crazy different styles that every time a new one come on, you're like, oh, you got to get used to that flavor. Like, okay, then another one come on, it's like, okay, it's a whole different flavor. So when you got two unorthodox people who made a living out of that, and let's be honest, just had some of the best, they're up there with some of the best music that you've heard in the past 20 years, and that has been hits. I think that for pure entertainment value got to be the best one.
Timbo, like you said, when you're talking Swiss and Timbo, you're talking Jay-Z, you're talking DMX, you're talking Aaliyah, you're talking Missy Elliott, like that in itself, like that speaks for itself right there. Speaks for itself.
It's hard to beat. Is what that is. It's hard to beat. So, like I said, I agree with your assessment of how much what it is that meant to the culture, but it just depends on how you answer the question. And to me, if the question in what was the best one, not which one meant more, I think the answer's got to be, and we in debate mode now. I'm fine with that, but it's got to be that because there's not one that you can press play right now on YouTube and watch the whole 2 hours and not be like, wait, I got to use the bathroom or I gotta or talking and you miss half of it because you're shooting the like that's the one you could watch like a show and be that entertaining for 2 hours. Like it was wild.
That's a fact. And for the reasons I mentioned, you damn sure didn't want to get up during the Jeezy and Gucci joint. You knew you was gonna miss something. Even when they were talking to the mayor. Like it was like I said, it was just must-see TV. That was must-see TV right there.
Yeah, I forgot you talked to the mayor too. The mayor called in, bro.
So the mayor called in.
That's hard to beat. That's hard to
must-see TV all the way around, all the way across the board. That was just must-see TV. And Gucci getting disrespectful from the jump, like, all right, let's get to it now. Jeezy's like, hold on, man. You kind of being disrespectful towards the mayor. Like, hold on a second. Man.
Who's gonna get mad at me if I say I don't like half of Gucci's music? I'm sorry. Listen. I like Gucci. I like Gucci, man. But when it's compared to what was being played on the other side, these hits that are done professionally in real studios, that quality is there. Like Gucci took maybe 5 or 6 albums, or 7 or 8 albums, with how much he puts it out before he got that nice with his style, and it's nice. I love the new stuff.
As somebody that's resided in the A for some years,
and know what he means. I know.
I know what Gucci means.
As do I, which is why I said that softly.
I know what the Guwap means to Atlanta, especially the East Atlanta. I know what that's about, and I know what that means. And but what people need to remember is that there is an outside of Atlanta. And for all the trap guys, for all the guys that been through the struggle, for all the guys that played in the street or whatever, Jeezy spoke to those guys. Like Snowman spoke to those guys. And man, he has an endless catalog of classic music. And I don't even want to just say classic street music. He has classic music.
Listen,
classic.
You want to know how that really rings true is when you went to or when you go to Cali. I'll be going there soon again for another little thing that I'm going to announce to you guys a little bit later. But I'm going to go in there soon. And when you go there and you hear how Jeezy's music was played over there just as much as any Nip or any whatever it is out there, right? People that we don't even know the name of, and any of the Mozzis, any of them, like any of the what's his name, the West Coast Boogie, West Coast Boogie, sorry, not A Boogie, West Coast Boogie, like any of those guys getting played out there, they're also playing Jeezy just as much, and then that shows you like, yo, there's a reach from one end of the country to the other. One of the biggest
artists coming off the West Coast was founded by G. Let's not forget.
It was Jeezy
that brought out YG. There would be no YG without a Jeezy. So, know.
So there we go, man. That to me is a point against, or not a point against, because, it's not even like that. But for the sake of debate, I can't say that there's anything like that in the catalogs of that entirely entertaining Swiss Beats versus Timbaland. Like, but then again, like I said, that's just me and preferences. So I do know that there's probably, a million more people that's gonna go, I'm ridiculous. Credit,
Gucci has more current music out right now, and it's good music.
Okay. True.
But I like Jeezy's approach in the verses in the battle because he was just like, well, I have nothing but classics in my catalog. So regardless if you have current songs on the radio now, classics are
it's gonna be 2 hours of classics. 2 hours of classics
because they're timeless. And he definitely has classics. He has a bunch of classics in his catalog. So
it's crazy.
Yeah, I like the approach of both of them because, like I said, Gucci does have good music out right now, currently. And you turn on the radio right now, if it's not Gucci himself, it's one of Gucci's artists at 1017. So, that's not to be overlooked either. But yeah, I felt the same way, Chip. I felt the same way. That Jeezy catalog's too heavy, too strong. It's too much. You get steamrolled. You get steamrolled right over with that Jeezy catalog.
You know what though, man? I'm here sitting here wondering why am I not getting anybody chiming in? I wonder if I did something wrong. People watching this, please hold on. Let me just make sure that I got this thing to where that you can chime in and I'm not an idiot. Live chat showing.
Give me an honorable mention, man.
Live chat is there. I don't know why. I don't know. People not chiming in, but I see y'all looking. All right. Listen, people, you can chime in anytime. Honorable mentions. First of all, I said it before, Buju versus Bounty Killer. First of all, it was already a beef.
I know that was smoking, and that was one of the ones I haven't watched yet.
There was like a little simmering of who's better there, right? Of that's been going on in Jamaica for a long time.
I was about to say they've been doing their thing for a minute before they even came to the States, correct?
Long time. We're talking about classics. If you thought that Timbaland and Swiss Beats was in it for a long time, Buju and Bounty Killer was. I'm talking about 80s.
Yeah.
Like early 90s. So there's been a lot of accumulated talkings and whisperings of going on of which one of them is better, which style is better, and the mere fact that I don't think most people know that the whole sound clash thing is a Jamaican thing where people pull up and see who's got the best sound in the battle. It wasn't rap, but it's something that used to be done with Jamaican DJs and how they went about it. This whole idea was really a Jamaican early dance hall reggae type thing. And I think they showed it. They showed that. They came with their own, what they call dub plates, where they had songs made just for this event, where they could talk to the other guy about it while they're on the song. And they had 2 or 3 of those for different parts of when things went down. Just the whole way they went about it and the energy, you already know. We're talking about Bounty Killer and Buju, talking about dancehall. Anybody, even if you don't know what they're saying, people, you know it's energy behind the words. It's just pure energy. So that's a big one.
That's dancehall in general.
Period. Just energy. But that was that. Also another one. I'm gonna say it because I know nobody else will. Is in the hip hop. That Erykah Badu and Jill Scott, man. What could I say, man? It was just good music, bro. It was fun. They were funny. They were charismatic. That's both of them are, right? The music is just 100% class. You forget how many classics both of them have in the hip hop and R&B arena.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, that was her. Oh, somebody who's not big in R&B like that. I'm listening to it like, I forgot. I love this music. So stuff like that, I got down with. Just I wanted to say I saw it, and then after that, I was very happy I did. Put it that way. What about you?
Oh man! Again, man. Shout outs to Timbo. Shout outs to Swiss. There's been some fire verses. Just seeing some of these artists in the same room, it kind of brings back nostalgia. It like I said, just the whole idea of celebrating these guys' catalog, which, in other words, on other platforms we never did or seldom do. It was very fun. I think it was very fun for the whole culture. I thoroughly enjoyed stuff, like I said, like I mentioned earlier, the DMX and Snoop Dogg joint. It definitely showcased what hip hop was in the 90s, East to West Coast, the gritty style of the East Coast with Dog, with DMX, the gang banging and the smooth style in Los Angeles reference with Snoop Dogg.
That's funny that you said that. I was thinking that on the short list that you might have picked that one as one of the best for the same reasons as Gucci. How, especially after the death of DMX, how just big that was.
Nah, that was
at the
epic.
time and after.
Yeah, that was epic. That was epic. And then the fact that my the Dog passed not too long after that. That's probably the last performance that you'll remember from DMX. So I mean, that was epic for many reasons. Mm-hmm. Also, the Jadakiss and Fab joint was fire. Even though with Jadakiss was drunk and half smacked out there,
yeah,
he still roasted. I think he still cooked Fab in that verses. Seeing Raekwon and Ghostface go at it.
Oh epic. Yeah, I almost forgot about that.
Seeing Ghost and Ray go at it.
Oh, that was crazy.
For all the old school Wu-Tang fans. But I said all that to say my honorable mention or runner up, if you have you, a 1A, 1B, I'm gonna go to my producer time, and you mentioned Timbo and Swiss, but for me, I'm gonna tell you what was epic to see Babyface versus Teddy Riley.
Whoa, that for me
was epic. When you talk producers and having a foothold in music, not just hip hop, but music over the last 25 to 30 years, man, Babyface and Teddy Riley.
Two of the best in the game ever of all time.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Nah, you
well
talking about
said, sir.
You talking about forgetting how much music or who produced what or who wrote what for who. Man, you check that verses out, and then you realize
I saw a lot of it.
The 90s, those two guys, the 90s, they owned at least 75% of them.
Yeah.
The 90s,
period.
They owned at least 75% of them.
Babyface alone, I mean, he had Babyface alone is that 33%. Like you.
That's what. That's what. Babyface. Teddy Riley might be the other 30%. That's what I'm trying to say. Like the Teddy Riley. Like when you talk about what was it? Blackstreet. Even Rex and Effects when he went to do the rapping. Even Pharrell comes from Teddy Riley. And that says a lot in itself.
Yeah.
Like, so much come from Teddy Riley. I think people forget it's not even funny. It's not even funny.
No,
it's not even funny.
Super producer, bro.
Producer. Man. I thoroughly. And it wasn't like I said. For other reasons beyond the music, is why I picked my first pick, which was the Jeezy and Gucci. But music, like just music wise, pure music, nah, man. It didn't even take two rappers for me. It didn't take two rappers for me. That Babyface and Teddy Riley was epic. That was epic.
That's the runner up. All right, listen, what do you guys think, man? Leave them comments right down there. If you're here now, chime in. Let us know what you think. I like that. And it's gonna make me go back and check out some of the ones that I may have forgotten. This versus thing has been a great thing for the culture. It helped a lot when there's nothing else to do. People trying to keep their careers alive and keep the people entertained. It was just a great idea, and it's really just become as much a part of the culture as anything else in hip hop. When new verses come out, people are looking at it like ready to go watch it because it's just that important now. So commendaments to them, man. RBE had a battle, if y'all didn't know. Last Saturday, on the 10th, King Los versus Daylight. And Calicoe versus Hittman Holla. There was other ones in there that we'll talk about. And really, we're not even going to talk all about it tonight. We wanted to let you know that we got the full joints in its entirety. You can see it on our Patreon. We'll give you a little preview of what it is that happened that night. But we'll be coming back. Maybe next week, maybe the end of this week. We're going to do our full review after watching everything twice, making sure we know who we think won, and let you know who we think won. But just to start off, man, let me tell you, boy, that Calicoe versus Hittman Holla. I believe we talked about this before we pressed play, before we went up online. D-Boy Slim, I need to ask you, did Hittman Holla lose to Cassidy, in your opinion?
You know, I watched that battle 2 or 3 times now. And honestly, I still never actually came to a conclusion on it. Now, the consensus, if I went with the consensus from the rest of the, rap hip hop community, the battle rap community, and the same, most people said that it went to Cassidy. I think people was quick to give Cassidy that W because it was a better performance than we seen in the previous 2 battles that he took with Goods and Arsenal when he got aired out. So, I mean, because by all means, it wasn't like Hittman had a bad performance. You couldn't sit there and say, like, no, if you be lying if you said that he got 30. You'd be lying if you said it. Now, which rounds would you give Hittman? That could be debated, and for that reason, like I said, it kind of was hard for me to come. Honestly, that was a good question that you threw out there, Bruce, because it's kind of been hard for me to come to that conclusion, and I've been wanting to say that because everybody jumped on the thing of Cass won. Look at that battle, like I said, it's not like Hittman had a bad performance.
Well, this is why I asked you that, is because. Well, wait a minute.
I know that was leading into another question that you was going to ask. So I answer the question and just say, you could say if you want to, format your question, line your question up. You could say that Cassidy be hit.
Well, it doesn't have to go that way because see, I'm 2 steps ahead. I'm 2 steps ahead of what you thought I was, because the truth is, your first answer is exactly probably the way this went again. I think it was obvious I think it was obviously obvious Calicoe eked it out. But obvious and eked are 2 separate things. Was it obvious? Exactly. So to me, it was like he did it. And the reason why I say obvious is because the consensus was that as well. But I have a feeling that someone like you may look at it again and say the same thing. I'm still not sure. And all that means is that it was great. That means is that it was great. I'm willing to, we're not going to give our full actual consensus, but right now I'm leaning that way to Calicoe. We're going to watch it a few more times, but you guys need to watch our coverage on that. We're going to go deep into the bars, into the rounds. And we're going to get to King Los versus Daylight, which I'm just going to tell you right now, I was waiting. People who watch this, I was waiting with bated breath to see Los again versus someone who I thought was in what's now the top tier of battle rap, especially after what he did.
Never stopped talking about Los since the last King Los battle.
It was all right. I only saw half. I'm going to watch the other half. I'm not going to lie. So I can't say this guy won, that guy won. I missed the whole entire first round. And saw half of the second and all of the third. And it was what you expect which is why I didn't like it, because there was nothing unexpected. It was Penn versus Penn. It was the stars and the moons. Your boy Daylight did put his ski mask on in verse 3 in round 3. Then ended up taking it off halfway through. It seemed to me like it was two people that respected each other's pen, and they were out in the backyard to see who had the best pen. Nothing else mattered. I would have liked to have seen a better performance from both of them, as far as crowd, as far as haymakers, as far as punchlines. Not just full pen on pen, Nostradamus 3 full rounds of that.
It's more of a scientific, technical boxing match.
Yeah, and that's cool too. But either when you, like I said before, when you find out that the opponent's doing that as well, then you have to do something to change it up to become different, or else it just becomes a loop. And I think that's what it became. Still dope. Nobody's gonna tell you it was bad. It was still they both proved that they belong on the stage. I just was, maybe because of overhypeness, I was waiting for something that maybe was unattainable. could be that. But that being said, you guys watch. We're gonna watch them again, and you guys watch them. You can see right now Calicoe versus Hittman Holla on Patreon.com, on our Patreon.com/Team Box Cutter. Listen, whew, late night hip hop live, man. That VERZUZ was crazy. It's a lot for the culture. Go watch them again. Tell us what you think. It's always a conversation with you. With that being said, what you got to say, D-boy?
Once again, we appreciate your feedback. Keep subscribing. We got dope shows, and if we don't, you let us know let us know what your thoughts are and what you think we should be talking about. We still putting together some dope concepts. We haven't forgotten about the Freestyle Fridays.
Nope.
You'd
be surprised how hard it is to get stuff like that together. It's so many artists that need the help but don't want to call in. And then, and not even the help, but just to showcase, because we love hip-hop. We want to hear you. If you want to be a part, man, then hit us up. It's right there on the page. You can go to the About section. You got the email. Hit us up.
And that's just the bottom line. You said it all right there. We love hip-hop. We love y'all. Keep tuning in. We off this. But like we said, we'll be coming right back at you tomorrow. Tomorrow probably, right, Bruce? With the show for the battle. So
it'll be this week. Tomorrow might be a bit too soon.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Tomorrow might be a bit too soon. Y'all know what this is. Wednesday, Thursday. I'll put out a post.
We'll definitely be going back in this week.
This week, for sure.
We'll be going in depth about the battles, who we definitely think got the W, who got the L's, and
why.
Where is it at right now as far as the battles and who we need to see come together in battle? So,
yeah, for sure. All right, y'all. I'm going to put out a post tomorrow and let you know the exact date. People, please stay tuned. People, please subscribe. People, please hit that bell notification so you know when I do my posts and when we do all of this good stuff. Holla at your boy, man. I'm out. Peace.